Hi y'all, this is Lynn. I am a licensed clinical social worker and a registered play therapist. Today I was hoping to bring you a little bit of information about how I work with families that are experiencing divorce and how I introduce a couple of strategies to help children to cope with strong emotions or difficult feelings that they might be experiencing. If you're looking for in-depth training on this subject, Lynn Wonders has a book and she has training that is really comprehensive that will give you some really good feedback if this is a population that you want to learn more of. I'm going to put her information below, so make sure to check it out. The very first thing that I do when a family contacts me and they let me know that they're either in the middle of a divorce, thinking about a divorce, or that are divorced parents that need the child to come in for counseling for any issue, specifically if it's related to trouble coping. I make it a habit that my very first session is with both parents present. We all have our areas of expertise and populations that we're really skilled and that we really enjoy working with. For me, families that come with a really cooperative idea or concept of separation and parenting are a population that I enjoy working with and that I feel like I have the training and experience to work with. If the needs are beyond that, then I'm going to redirect the family to the appropriate support. Depending on the age of the child and the specific needs, I find that it's really helpful to discuss ahead of time a little bit about what we're going to be doing and what the purpose of the intervention is. The first intervention that I'm going to show you is an expressive drawing activity. I call it All My Homes, but it includes pieces of what color is my heart and of noticing strengths. And so here it is, All My Homes, and what I basically do is that I draw 2 homes on a piece of paper if there's 2 homes that the child is going to be residing in. And this is whether custody is 50-50 or whether custody is divided in any other way. The child might choose to represent it in a home or in a building or as an apartment. Whatever feels right for them, follow their lead. But I find that sometimes just drawing a basic outline of a house can be really helpful. And so we're going to structure inside the house very similar to the what color is your heart activity, where we're going to create divisions. And we're also going to develop a journey where each color is going to have its own specific meaning. And so the child will pick a series of colors and would fill out depending on how they're feeling in each of their homes. You want to explore any feelings that they're experiencing, any concerns that they have, anything that they're worried about, and anything that they might be scared of. At the bottom of both houses, you see this kind of brown lines, and they represent the foundation, right? And this is what keeps us whole. And what I want the child to do here, and I have here what keeps me safe, and what we want the child to do at the bottom is to be able to represent using lines, shapes, color, whatever feels natural for them. What are some either coping strategies or inner resources that they have or strengths that they can pull from as they're getting used to this new adjustment? So in essence, the exercise explores emotionally what might be going on for your client, what difficult emotions they might be experiencing, or what positive emotions that they might be experiencing, because it might be a 2-part process. Once they color each piece, you want to ask questions about what each color means to them. And depending on the age, you want to really assess what is the narrative that this client has developed regarding their parents' separation. This is especially important because depending on the concerns and the age of the child, a narrative that's very common, especially for elementary age children and even high school children, is the belief that whatever happened is somehow their fault. This might not be true for every client, but we want to be assessing what is the meaning that they're giving to their parents' separation. Discussing that bottom piece, that foundation that's going to keep them whole, you're going to be exploring different tools and strategies that are going to help them to feel whole and connected as they go through the week. You're going to pull from the client's strengths. What do they have? What music is helpful? What family member do they feel like they can talk to? What friend do they feel like they can connect with? And if they're in need of something else, maybe you're doing some skill building in session, then you want to make sure that you write those in too. If it's appropriate for your clients, another technique that I introduce is the broken heart technique. And so with the broken heart technique, what you're going to do is that you're going to draw your best drawing of two broken hearts. So as you can see, mine don't quite match, but that doesn't matter. And what you want the client to do is that you want them to think about these two pieces that are now separate. And you want them to, again, use lines, shapes, colors to represent what it is that each piece is feeling. Right, so if we're talking about a divorce between the two dads, what are the dads experiencing? What concerns do they have? What hopes do they have? What fears do they have? And in the middle, what we want to explore, and I have the word sad, worried, feeling it's my fault, the cat. So what you want to explore is what complications are created because of this separation. So you really want to look at what concerns, what worries, what fears, what do they feel might get in the way of their own healing process? What might prevent the heart from mending? And then you want to have the client think about what are some ways that that heart can heal. What are some ways that we can bring those two pieces of themselves within themselves back together? So not the parents, right? Because the parents are now separated. But the broken feeling inside of them, what is going to help it to feel a little better? And sometimes your client might come up with an answer to that, or sometimes they might not. And I wrote at the top of mine, not sure, right? Which represents that this client is not sure what they might need in order to heal. And that's also going to give you some information about how it is that they're feeling and what might be going on for them. Another simple technique that you can integrate is you can ask the client to pick different toys to represent their parents or caregivers and one to represent them. If there's any other siblings in the family or any other family members that are affected by the separation, then you want them to also pick up toys that represent each of those pieces. And so here I have a little fish. And so this little fish can represent the client's experience of feeling like a fish out of water, not really understanding what's happening and feeling lost. And I can ask them then to pick up different toys to represent their parents. And so here is another example. So I have here two dolls, and one kind of looks like a doctor, and I might ask my client, you know, what does it mean for them? You know, especially their parents, not a doctor. So maybe they might say, you know, with this mommy, I feel like she can take care of me. I feel like I can talk to her, like she can protect me. And then we're going to explore the other one that has this hammer. Right? And this is just an example. So something the child might say is that I'm scared that this mommy, she's a little tough, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time with her. And I'm scared that she's not going to let me play as much video games as my other mommy lets me. And so using the toys, we're going to be processing what it is that the client is experiencing. What meaning are they giving each person that they're choosing? And if appropriate, you can ask the client, what is one thing that you would like this parent or this caregiver to know? Maybe your client might not be ready to share what is that one thing, but you're starting to get the conversation happening and taking place. If appropriate, something that might be really helpful is at some point having a family session where you have each family member pick a toy that represents how they feel, and maybe create a world either in the sand or on a piece of paper that represents each of their family members, and that they have an opportunity to kind of share what it is that they're thinking, what they're feeling, what their concerns are, and what they're going to do to ensure that that child is protected. And so whenever you're having a family session, you want to make sure that you have an appointment with the caregivers first to introduce the activity that you're going to be doing and to give them a little bit of an explanation as to what the purpose of what you're going to be working on is. Use your clinical judgment to determine whether the family is ready to do an activity such as this. And so these are 3 ways that I think about processing complex feelings that can show up for kids of different ages when parents divorce and separate. I hope that this is useful and helpful to your practice. If there's anything else that you would like to hear, please feel free to let me know. Thank you. Bye.